Good morning. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Are we live?
I don't know.
I only see
the
the stream starting soon.
Same here.
All right.
Who
Hey,
am I
guys.
talking to?
Oh, there he is.
hey.
It's John. It's Ziggy.
Yeah, and John Newman's here. Hey, I'm going to start the 30-second countdown.
But
Yep.
before you start, I just
Yeah.
want to say that I'm actually at my parents' house right now. My dad just got out of the hospital, so I'm kind of like helping my mom take care of him. So I
Understood.
may or may not have to cut out a little early. So
No problem, man.
Okay.
You step away if you need to. We got you.
Yeah, I
Don't
mean,
worry.
if you got to go, Chris, you got to go. Family first.
All right.
So,
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to start the countdown. If you want to mute up, it's the 30-second, and then we'll be live on the air.
all right.
Let's go.
All right. Morning. Good morning, Saturday morning to everybody. It's another episode of the Hobby Hotline, number 38 to be exact. I'm joined this morning by Ziggy No from Sports Cards Daily, where I sometimes get all my daily rundown of the hobby news. He does a great job. Happy to have him as a permanent member
Thank you.
of Hobby Hotline. And also to my right on the screen, anyway, Chris Harris from stalegum.com writes a great blog. I don't want to speak for Chris. Chris has some stuff going on that's more important than cards, and he might, worst case scenario, have to leave. But if that's the case, we got his back. So, Chris, welcome. Good morning. Oh, I don't know. I couldn't hear you. I don't know if you just
Chris is
waved.
still on mute. It's okay. How are you doing, John?
Good. You know, like 2020's been, Ziggy, it's been every week there's something new. No shortages of news. One thing I wanted to kind of start off, it's probably, I don't know if it's the biggest story of the week, but it's up there. It's not going to happen till next year, but they announced it this week. And that's Upper Deck's bringing back golf. The last time they did it, there was a younger golf player by the name of Tiger Woods that was taking the golf world by storm, and it really made that particular brand popular, bringing it back. Now, obviously, Tiger Woods is a older veteran player, but to be honest with you, on the back nine of his career now, truth be told. So I guess my question to you guys and everyone out there, I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves because it's going to be Upper Deck Artifacts in the spring of 21. But, you know, like everything else in the hobby, it just seems like everything else is just whether it's soccer or Pokemon or non-sports, everything's just flying off shelves. Is this going to be the same thing? Is this without even though obviously Tiger Woods is going to be in it? But you're not talking about rookie Tiger Woods or early Tiger Woods. Is this product going to just fall in line with everything else we've seen in the hobby?
So, John, here are my thoughts. First of all,
what do you guys think?
I'm not a golf collector, so I'm not really knowledgeable of golf. I didn't realize it had gone away. So first things I think are about Upper Deck, golf, Michael Jordan. And they've done this in the past, right? They've done Michael Jordan autos. I wouldn't be surprised they throw a LeBron auto in there, right? Because they have the licensing for it. So I think that's cool about it. I do think timing's a little interesting. Like Upper Deck would have done much better if they did it in 2020. But I do think there'll be a lot of momentum. My question is, are there rookie golfers coming next year? Or would this be rookie golf card to players who haven't played, you know, kind of like the 86 Fleer set? You know what I'm saying? Like,
how long has it been since Upper Deck's made a golf set?
Yeah, was it back when Tiger was a
Probably
rookie?
like 6 or
Uh,
7 years.
Okay.
So
I think
there's
it
maybe
might
6 or
be a
7,
little
kind of like,
longer. I'm
yeah,
not.
kind of like 86, 87 Fleer basketball, where you had this gap
Yep.
of rookies.
Yep. Yeah, my
Well,
thought, like I said,
rookie cards.
I think it's a good idea. Also, if you look at the people in the hobby, you're obviously pulling in a lot of the more golf community, right? The people who have the expendable income. So I think it'll definitely be a
It's a
hit.
higher end demographic.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing with Topps going after the Formula One racing license,
Yep. Yep.
because that's a high end, certainly a very high end demographic there as
Yep.
well.
No,
I think
but
another reason why Upper Deck's bringing back golf is that we're living in the exclusive license era,
yes.
and you can't just go out and get one of the 5 major sports anymore. So that's why I think you're seeing Topps with Formula One, Upper Deck with NASCAR. I mean, not
Yep.
Upper Deck with NASCAR. Panini bringing back NASCAR. They're looking for some alternative revenue streams.
Yep.
And there was, 15, 20 years ago, a base of golf collectors. I mean, those Upper Deck golf cards did sell for a while. So why not? And
Yeah,
they
like
have
I said,
experience making golf.
I'm a huge basketball fan, not a golf fan. But if you put a Michael Jordan auto in there or LeBron James auto in there, I'm chasing, right? And I think that's one thing I think Upper Deck has missed out on. They need to leverage those exclusive licensing that they have those autographs with, and golf be a perfect one to do it in, right? You don't have to have Michael Jordan in a jersey. You don't have to have LeBron sitting in a jersey. You have LeBron wearing
Just
whatever,
show them on the links.
Yeah. So I think that's
Yeah,
Steph
awesome.
Curry also plays golf
I hope
too.
they're doing that. I will tell you this. I would be very disappointed if they come out with a set and they don't have at least Jordan in that, right? If their chase card
Yeah.
is really Woods, and then my question is, who's the rookie class? Like, what player? Like Rory McIlroy, I guess that's a name I can remember.
Yeah.
Does he have a card? Would this be considered his rookie
He
card?
might
I
have
don't
had
know.
like a card in like toward the tail end.
Yep.
He was kind
Kapka.
of big, like maybe 6 or 7 years ago.
What about Kapka? He's another big name.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Probably
I'm
not.
not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
key
gonna
rookie
be
there.
that's gonna be the fun of it. Is some of these guys who, even though they're not rookies in the true sense of the word, it's gonna be their first card.
Rookie
So are
card. Yeah.
people,
Yep.
like you brought up, Ziggy, are people gonna like chase them even though it's their 5th year on the PGA Tour, but it's their first card? What's the value of something like? Are people gonna say, come on, he's really not a rookie. Like that card shouldn't be going for $20. And so it's going to be such a dynamic. Jordan plays golf, so I'm sure they can get him pictures of him on the links, like you said, autographs. I'm not sure if LeBron's a golfer or not, but like you said,
Doesn't need to
He
be.
can be for this set,
yeah, they can figure something out, put him in there, just like they do with Goodwin and that sort of thing. So I think, I mean, my 2 cents, I think, like, obviously we're looking at spring 21. We'll see where the pandemic is, where the hobby is, but I think like everything else, it's going to be probably very successful. I don't know if they're going to make a retail version. Are people going to go to Walmart and Target and load up their cart with Upper Deck artifacts and post pictures on Instagram and Twitter? Look what I just scored. Hit me up, that sort of thing. But it's like everything else. And golf cart, I go to shows, do shows, and people have some of the older golf cards that Upper Deck did, years ago in the case, Tiger Woods stuff.
Yeah.
So there's going to be demand for it, and I guess the question is, how big of a demand? Is it going to be red hot? Is it going to be hot? Warm? On a scale 1 to 10, that sort of thing. But it's something that I would probably grab a blaster box or 2 if I walked in to Walmart and saw a display rack. I probably wouldn't buy necessarily the display rack. Maybe someone else. I'll leave that for someone else. Plus, I know kids are big into golf, so I'd want to leave it for the kids, as they say. But it's gonna. We'll see.
Golf. 2 comments on that. You mentioned briefly the first Upper Deck golf set. That may be the one product from the 21st century that can truly be labeled as a junk wax product, because you still see it everywhere for like
Mhm.
$10 or $15 a box. The one product that really, really was grossly overproduced. Second comment I have on that is that the first golf set that they're bringing back is going to be under the Artifacts brand name, which is kind of an off-brand. It's not
Yeah.
really a flagship like either Upper Deck flagship or SP or one of those other brands. So I'm kind of curious as to why they chose that brand name to reintroduce golf.
And this is just a guess, Chris. That's a good point you bring up too. In return, it's Artifacts is traditionally heavy game used material, game worn material, and auto. So I think my guess, I didn't get this from anyone. They want to, with it coming back for the first time in a while, they want to come in hot with a bunch of game used autos. Like you guys said, with maybe MJ, LeBron, it's just a great brand to get those pieces of them in there. Even the non-auto MJs or the non-auto LeBrons could be, a game, a polo shirt, and that sort of thing that they wore, while golfing, or who knows what else. And so I think that's why they're starting with Artifacts. They've announced there's going to be 3 releases, so it's going to be Artifacts plus 2 more. I haven't heard what the other 2 lines are going to be. You might have named them, Chris. They might just start with Artifacts and then go to SP and then flagship, and maybe just kind of come out with Artifacts just to create that momentum, that buzz with a bunch of autos and game worn material.
Did they do Artifacts in the past, and do they have Masters? I'm thinking, the little Masters yellow with the red flag. That's a iconic patch.
Yeah.
Do they have relics and patches or licensing with Masters? Because that'd be cool to add.
That would be a separate license.
Probably, yeah, with the Masters.
No, they got the PGA license, but I don't think the old Upper Deck golf sets were actually PGA licensed. I'm not sure if that actually means anything either, because you can just sign all the golfers, because there's no golfers union with a group licensing agreement. So I'm kind of curious as to why they went after a PGA license. Does it come with all the golfers? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they could take a flag. They could take a flag off any kind of a generic flag and
like
have
from
it
the Doral Open or something.
Yeah, and have it signed. I mean, they even if they're not, let's say, Masters, Zig, like you said, they could. There's other ways around where they can get some of the stuff from the courses, either autographed or just as the game used item themselves. There's never been Artifacts golf. Artifacts obviously been around in the the hockey world, and we forget about
a baseball brand too for a while.
Yeah, remember Pro Set did golf way back when as well. Even I think
Donruss did golf in the early 80s too.
Yeah. So this isn't new. We just haven't had, when I really think about it, I don't know how you guys feel, it's kind of surprising we haven't had a golf product period, really, that no one's really dove into it. Maybe it took a hobby year like 2020 where just anything that's made turns into instant gold for finally that light bulb to go off and someone to do it.
I'll also say, we have 3 people here right now, and I'm going to guess none of us collect golf regularly, right? I'm optimistic about the set, but I personally would not be going after it unless I'm going after one of those unique autos or unique cards for myself. So I can kind of see why they
really have to load this up.
Yeah, because again, it goes back to me. It goes back to rookies, right? Are there rookies in the PGA? I know there are first-year players, but are there names or people? And my next question would be, are they doing this for 1 year? Are you going to do 22? Like, if I'm a collector and I'm getting into a set, I don't like getting into 1-year sets. I like to get into a set that's going to be, it's established. Yeah. So my next question would be, hey, are you going to do it for 1 year and you're going to drop off for the next 10 years? So I'm just kind of curious. I applaud Upper Deck, though, for doing something. And, like I said, you can leverage that Michael Jordan license, which I understand is expiring, if I'm not mistaken. I think they have a limit on that. And with LeBron. So again, to me, put that in golf, man. That's the chase card. And that will get you global appeal too, because golf is very big in China. Basketball is big in China. So
Yeah, and you brought up another angle, Ziggy. If their license agreement, their exclusives with LeBron or MJ are close to the end, load like this is the perfect opportunity. Maybe that's where this product is even come. It might be a non-pro golfer that really is the reason. Maybe we'll never know. We just kind of put 2 and 2 together, but it might be MJ and LeBron are the reason that the golf product is getting launched in the first place. And
might be a way to sticker dump a bunch of Jordan autographs.
You know what, though? Again, I heard it somewhere where they said, again, Michael Jordan is going to, I guess, end the license and will probably not be signing in the future. So they expect those autos will go up. And LeBron might do the same thing. I mean, at what point does he go, you know what, I don't need Panini, right? He could retire in a few years, or not Panini. He doesn't need Upper Deck. So just something to think about.
Yeah, Michael Jordan's a billionaire. He doesn't need to make like $100.
Jordan makes more money not playing than he did during his playing day. So the upper deck don't want to hear this, but he doesn't really need the Upper Deck contract. So like you said, it might be one of those deals like, hey, when this is up, he might have already told them, right? You know, like, hey, I'm going to finish the deal out. I'm a man of my word, but I'm not interested in renewing.
I'll give you a thought. If you follow Topps has done some of those curated sets. They did a Ronaldo set. They did a Messi set. Upper Deck should just do a curated set with Jordan. Let Jordan do a golf-only exclusive set. I mean, you're just not leveraging him, in my opinion, enough. Because especially with the Last Dance that came out, like Upper Deck did nothing. You know, I mean, and they knew that was coming. So I don't know. I guess
who knows though? You know, they might have tried. He might have. You know what I mean? He's got to agree. I would think. You know, I don't know.
But they could have. The Messi set was just a bunch of cards, no autos, right? They could have taken a bunch of cards and made golf shirts, and they've done it before. Heck, Haynes did a set, right?
Yeah, but MJ has to sign off on that. They can't just do it without saying, "Hey, we want to do this." He might say, "I don't want my name on the golf set." Like, it's cool. You want to do a golf set, knock yourself out, but I don't want it to be the MJ's, you know, like you said, the top stuff where he's on the cover of the box and the packs and so you know, this might. I'm sure the contract just says, and again, I've never seen the contract. I'm sure there's something in there that he has to sign so many items per year. And so they're going to get that out of the deal. Maybe this is the product, like you said, with that contract maybe nearing its ending. Let's milk this thing out for the remainders we can get. And he might, like you said, he might have already told him, like, I'm gonna, you know, when this contract's over, I'm not even going to discuss the new one. I want nothing personal, nothing's wrong. I just don't want to do it, you know. So.
Let me just go ahead and make a shout out. If anybody would like to join us, anybody has any questions, like to comment, would love to have you drop in. I don't know if John, you can drop the link in there.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the.
See a lot of people in chat, guys. Thank you very much for supporting.
Golf cards.
If I could switch the topic, I thought the big news for me this week was the NBA's announcement that they're going to start the season back. Right, they're targeting a December start. For the NBA, which I think
22nd, right?
Yeah. Well, the goal is what they say is that they want to have the Christmas games. The Christmas games bring in a lot of revenue for them, and probably will bring in even more revenue this year with the COVID and everything. So I'm excited about that. But I also think that's great for the hobby because it really takes the uncertainty out of the offseason about when are they going to start again, right? With the NBA putting the foot down, I think this helps hockey. Will probably be next to make a decision, right? And I also think it will cement baseball feeling confident for next spring. So I'm very excited for the hobby. I think that is big news for the NBA, coming back, going without people in the stadiums, but they're going to go straight from the draft on the 18th of November, right? A few weeks of free agency and then right into playing.
For hockey, and I don't know if Jeremy's out there, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I heard January 1st. They want to get like really rolling.
Well,
January
I heard that too.
Yeah,
I heard January was their target, saying now that the NBA's put the foot in the sand, this might, hey, hockey might still be January 1st, but it helps us know sports are really coming back. Before there was kind of uncertainty on, are they going to wait for clearance before they go back because they want to get fans? It sounds to me the NBA's made the decision. Fans are important in the stands. We can get the advertising money. So hopefully hockey will follow suit. And I'm even thinking, like, I'd love to have hockey back. I'm in the DC area. I'd love to have it back in the DC area, right? They did it in the bubble. So even if it's limited, I think that's great. It's exciting news for me to hear sports are are coming back.
Yeah, great.
So,
Mark points
Panini
out. I remember
actually-
this tennis set. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
So Panini actually announced at the industry summit this week their schedule for their NBA
Yeah.
line for 2021. I guess it'll be just 2021 and not 2020, 2021. Looks like it'll be hoops in January, kicking it off on the 13th, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Prism's my big one in March.
16 products next season.
Yeah. Well, you know,
not
that's
including their college products.
Well, I just want to point out that is their list of 16 products, but you know they will add products like they did this year if the demand is there. Illusions was never on the list, right? Clearly, Donruss was not on the list. Hoops Premium was not on the list. So, in my opinion, I applaud Panini for giving us that list, and I think it's a great. But I expect there will be changes, you know, and I understand that.
All right,
How big is this draft class going to be compared to last year? There's no Zion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got a guess?
I mean, you got a few guys. You got the guy playing in France whose name escapes me. The guy I like out of it's Wiseman out of Memphis. He didn't play there very long, but he made a cameo. I think last year's draft class was special. It's going to be tough to repeat that, but you know, I think initially people are just going to clamor for it because it's new, and then I think the long term of it, obviously, I'm not breaking any news here, is going to be based on performance. So we got Brad in the waiting room who wants to come on and
excellent.
add some. Morning, Brad. How are you?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I just wanted to thank everybody. This has been a real struggle for the past couple of weeks for me and my family, personally. And I've gotten nothing but just well wishes and love, and just the hobby has really wrapped their arms around me and my family. And I appreciate all the prayers. I appreciate all the love. It was completely unexpected. It was completely out of the, but I really, really, really appreciate, and I can't stress enough, everybody reaching out, the well wishes and everything. So I just wanted to come on 100% and thank everybody for that. I will be back. Like I'm back today. I've got my head on straight. I can jump back into the hobby again. But I just want to say thank you to everybody, and just
thank you, man.
All the well wishes. Thank you. I do have a question though. This morning I was trying to catch up, so I'm a couple of weeks behind. I did watch the past 2 shows, and did I miss it, or did Gallery just drop without any notification whatsoever? I mean, all of a sudden, I looked up.
A lot of those made for retail sets, like Fire, Bowman Platinum, which I don't think was released. Topps just throws it out there without any warning.
Well, I wonder, is it Topps or is it the disties who've had that product and they just realized there's empty shelves, so they're dropping it, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, and I like, I like Gallery. I like the artwork. I've kind of found that that's something that I like. You know, I'm not a huge 2020 collector, but I like the artwork. So I was waiting for Gallery's I mean, I didn't even see like an announcement for 2020. I didn't even see Topps put any information out. And all of a sudden I look and I start.
Again, for these made for retail products, they don't until maybe like a week afterwards.
Yeah.
And from somebody who runs a baseball card checklisting site, baseballcardpedia.com, cheap plug.
Keep plugging it again.
Anytime, man.
Please, plug it again.
That's baseballcardpedia.com.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll
second.
The problem with Gallery is, like, I actually like it too. Like you said, Brad, the problem is the price point. Like $70 for like what is equivalent to a blaster buy. It's funny. I always crack a joke about it on my show, because when you go to Walmart and Target, like, everything's wiped out, right? And then there's the full display of Gallery. It's like, here, take this too, and no one picks it. So I guess, you know, I don't know. Is it on the shelves now?
So what I did is,
if you can find it,
it's out in the wild.
I looked at I just got done right before I jumped on. It's on the Walmart.com site. It's $78 for a mega box. And then I'm like, okay, so let me go look and see what it is on eBay. Average eBay price is about 110. So you've got that, which, okay, you're paying for shipping, you're paying for all that other stuff. What's up, Drew?
I don't
What's
know
going
how.
on, big dog? Just wanted to, and and then I started looking at the singles. Singles were going, of course, for $1.25, and I'm like, okay, so I guess I got to go to Sport Lots and build my set that way.
Yeah, the price point for me, like I don't have a problem with the design. I think it's nice. I think it's really probably Topps' equivalent to Donruss Diamond Kings, right? But the price point is just to me ridiculous. Like there's been times I want to just open something. It's the only product on the shelves, and I don't want to cry poverty. I'm not, and I still don't buy it. It's just the price point, $70-$80. When now when you
But
can
it's a 20 pack box, right?
yeah, you're right.
And like a lot of those retail made like Fire and like they're usually 20 packs for $69.99 or something. And then they have the $20 blasters and then the $5 or $6 rack packs.
Yeah, if I can find blasters on the shelf, yeah, I'll buy the blasters because it's just, this is going to be something that I personally collect. I'm not going to do anything with it, but I mean, anything more than that, I just can't see. I just can't see. It's gallery. I mean, it's like Fire.
I've never seen the gallery blaster.
Well, real quick, guys, I don't know how I popped in here unannounced, but just wanted to stop by. I had a quick comment real quick. Great show so far. I know somebody wants to say hi.
Hey, man.
Hey, guy.
But
morning, Jude.
But no, regarding the releases and everything, and talking about them dropping them out of nowhere, that has a lot more to do, I think, with distributors. I mean, Panini could put that out if they wanted to. They could put out the preview galleries if they want to. Topps could, but let's be honest. Do we really want to look through previews of like gallery of Bowman Platinum, like super long? I know there are some people, but I'm saying in the majority, when there's so many products to do.
Yeah.
Gallery, I do know that was a product that was supposed to not even make the shelves. The fact that it was able to be produced and gotten out, I think, was an accomplishment for Topps and one that they didn't think they were going to do. And that's the reason you have Bowman Chrome mega boxes this year at Target, because they couldn't do at Walmart, because they couldn't do the normal Target ones that they normally do with production issues. So, the retail side of things in terms of them just dropping unannounced, I think has a lot more to do with distributors. But me personally, and I'll just leave it at this and let you guys go. It's been a great show so far, guys. But I personally like it like that. I like when we don't know every single product that's coming out every single time. I love the some amount of time that I can go to a store and there's actually cards there. I love when there's a release that pops up that I didn't know about. I find it people. Fun to me as someone that's like, oh wow, I'm gonna go get to check this out too. So I don't know. Just wanted to call in, say what's up to everybody. Keep up the great work, guys, and talk to you this week.
Awesome. Thanks, Drew.
You know what? The surprise to me is just finding anything on the shelf.
Yeah,
that's the surprise.
I want to make a quick comment about the disties. There were a lot of people complaining. You'll see that Optic and Mosaic basketball were re-released, or they put more back on the product. That's not Panini reprinting the product. And you'll hear people out there, oh, Panini turned on the printing presses. That is disty that's holding the product back. And that happens often. So you will see pockets where different regions, all of a sudden, Mosaic's out all over the place. And like, well, why is Mosaic out? That is disty. And they do that a lot of times. So the same thing happened with baseball. And I agree with Drew. It's kind of, it prevents the flippers. Like the flippers all know that Prism Bat football is coming out on the 18th. So they know to start to get in the retail shops. When it just pops out, hey, that's when people have the best chance of getting it. So
yeah, here's a comment from Bo. And they do this. I didn't see them this year. But well, that's probably because I didn't open any Fire. But they do. Gallery does do those preview packs that are in other products, and so there's some news from Bo that they put them in the fire. That gallery would be in October. You know, how many years when does Top stop making gallery? Because at my Walmarts, they sit on the shelf. Now I'm being, like display racks for months. I mean, there's literally, if you put your finger over the top of it, you have dust on your hand. And then what happens? It goes into the clearance. You know, we're all familiar with that bottom rack clearance. Yep. And I've even seen it sit there for a little bit before it finally. I don't know if they finally, like, either someone does buy it or they take it out of there and send it to like a third world country, like they do with the Super Bowl losing T-shirts or something. I don't know. Is there like is there like a bunch of gallery overseas that
I think it depends on the area, because in my area I don't see gallery. Nothing sits on the shelves in the DC area. They take it all. I mean, they take score.
Plano anymore. Nothing here in Plano anymore. I used to call it the honey hole. There used to be a Walmart that was tucked away that's on my way to work, where I could drive by, stop on the way to work, spend 5 seconds, and pick up something to rip, just to rip, not to flip or not anything. Just to rip it. And for the past month and a half, 2 months, even that place has been completely empty. And it had Topps Gallery 19 sitting out there for, I don't know how long, like 6 months. And it was 19. I wanted to start with 2020. I didn't want to start on 19. So I left it thinking eventually that something like a 2020 would show up, and it didn't. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be there. Hopefully it'll be there on Monday whenever I drive by.
I'll be honest. I buy everything, and I don't do it greedily. I'll do it for friends. I have friends who collect Topps or whatever, and I'll sell it to them at cost. So if I see it on the shelves, I'm taking it, and then I'll let my friends know, and I'll sell it to them at cost. But just the way the market is, and I'll say another thing. I watched a great video this week of a young kid. I think he's like 15, 16, who was going out flipping, and he's hitting the Walmarts. I just want to say I commend this kid. This man's like 16 years old. He gets up every morning. He goes to the stores at 7 a.m. A lot of times he gets nothing. And when he does, he's super excited. So I know people bash the flippers. Let me just say this. It's the early bird gets the worm. It's a hustle thing. I love that when people are hustling. What bothers me is if you hear about the backdoor deals, right?
Yeah.
Where the stuff never hits the shelf. If it hits the shelf, I applaud those people who get it.
I say it constantly. You do you, boo. I mean, you do the hobby the way you want to. You do the hobby. I mean, I do collect. I do a lot of selling. So I'm kind of a hybrid type. And when I first started doing it, I let all the negativity get to me. And then John said something really great one night during our late night conversations, and it was, Brad, don't worry about it. You enjoy the hobby the way you do. And then so from then on, I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna be me, and I'm gonna do, and that's when I started using "you do you, boo," just because it doesn't matter.
I can't say that and not laugh at myself. So
you do you, boo.
Oh, trust me, I laugh at myself a lot. I mean, look right above my head. That'll tell you how much I
yeah. I'm catching up. I'm doing the LeBron thing. It's going back here. But I want to follow up what Ziggy said. I'm just like him. Like, people get mad at people buying this. What do I don't get mad at those folks. They got there first. It is what it is. I mean, there's other options to get wax if you really want to. You can pre-order it. If you know there's a product you want and you want to pre-order hobby, some would tell you that's probably the smarter way to go anyway. Yep. And it's like I said on my show, if you're gonna walk by a $20 bill on the ground and not pick it up? I mean, who's gonna do that? Right now we're talking about some of these blasters, you buy them for $20, they go for a lot more than that $20 profit. So, and most of the time, I don't want to say everybody, probably 75% of the people complaining about other people buying out the whole display, guess what they would do too?
They would do the same
whole
thing.
Display. Yeah. So what they're really upset about, it just wasn't them that got to buy out the whole display.
Well, it's envy, and I'll tell you, I admin several Facebook groups, and one of the groups I'm in, I sit there and I approve or decline people who are reselling products they find, right? And sometimes I sit there envious. I'll look at a guy whose living room is full of retail, thousands of
yeah.
dollars of retail, and all he's doing is flipping it. I'm sitting there going, oh man, because I typically like to rip myself for me and my kids. Seldom do
Yeah.
I flip the product. I hear voices from the little boxes that tell me to open it, so I can't. I have to open the box. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
Hey,
envy,
we're
and
gonna
you just have to
bring on
control it.
Brody, the kid, part of our
Awesome.
show wants to
All
come on.
right.
Welcome,
What's up,
Brody.
Brody?
What's up?
What's up, everybody?
Good
What's
morning.
up this morning?
I have a question actually for Brody. I'm glad to have you on board. Brody, did you see Panini's Kids Crate product they are announcing, and what were your thoughts on that? I'd just like to get your thoughts as a young man in the hobby.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. I think it's definitely interesting,
Mhm.
especially with what Topps did with the Future Stars Club. But I
Yeah.
also noticed something a little different. When you look at the Future Stars Club, anybody could really buy that if they were an adult or a kid. But
Yeah.
Panini said that shops can only sell it to 14 under. And I'm sure if they figure out that they're selling it to adults, then the shop won't be able to get them anymore, which I think is good because it's meant for kids, which I think is going to help kids get into the hobby more. I think it's a very good idea to at least
I
try.
agree.
If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I think it's a good
Is
idea to at least
is
try.
Future Stars though? It's direct to you, right? You don't go to the shop to get it. Where the
Right.
Panini Crate, you're going to have to
Yeah.
go in.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
is the Panini Crate like? If you get a subscription, do you get it for the whole year, or do you have to wait in line every month? Do you know?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Anybody
sure
know?
I did it. I'm pretty sure it's every year, and then you resubscribe. Like the subscribers get to resubscribe, but it's sold out pretty quickly. I mean, I think it's definitely pretty cool. I mean, it's $25. You get a blaster.
Yeah.
And last month it was a Stadium Club blaster. You get like a 5-card exclusive set each month, and I forget. I think it was like 1 month it was like coolest hair, and it had like Noah Syndergaard and stuff like that. And then last month you got this pretty cool Bryce Harper headband, which I thought was pretty awesome. It's definitely
That
a
is
good buy.
awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Oh, you got one.
I'm definitely taking my sons to the shop to get a couple of those boxes. I think it's gonna be awesome.
What are you on season 4 Cobra Kai, Brad? What's
Well,
going on?
I actually
Hey, I
thought
like
about Brody
Cobra Kai.
whenever I
I
this
never
came
seen it.
in.
Yeah.
So I thought about you, Brody. Whenever this came in, I thought about sending this to you because it's got this, and then it's got the glasses as well. I thought about
So,
sending because this
Why
is
do you
kinda
have
cool.
one, Texas car dude?
I'm sorry.
Why do you have one?
Yeah,
You're a
those
future
are for
star?
kids. Come on.
I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you. I am excited though about Panini doing that. As far as
Yeah.
the 14 thing, I have mixed feelings. Obviously, it's not going to stay 14. I hope they do that, and I really hope the stores do enforce that. But I'm not going to be shocked when I see it in my Facebook group where someone's lining 15 of the kids crates.
Right. You know,
I was gonna say you said Brody, they're to be sold to 14 and under. But what stops? Like I send you in to buy some, and then you come out, and I give you $10. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, I
it's
did
gonna be
kinda
like
think about
buying.
that.
Don't hold your earmuffs, but it's gonna be like years ago, like buying cigarettes and alcohol when you're underage. It's just
You know
now
you
it's
do
gonna,
that now.
now
John.
we're
Don't
resorting
even.
to baseball.
Fake IDs.
At least it's good guidance.
You know,
I do
look
say that.
14, sir.
Use the lightning. What was the movie with the ID, the McQueen ID? Remember that
Oh,
one?
McLovin.
Cars.
Super bad.
Yeah, super bad. That's right. That's right.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. Like I applaud them for like keeping it for the kids. I think that's important, and I hope it
Yeah.
works out. But there's always a loophole. And Brody, you might. I'm not trying to promote illegal activities, but you might make some side money here by going in there.
Flip them.
Change your hat, change your T-shirt.
Put on a
But
fake
go to
mustache and a
I don't know how
trench
many
coat.
stores you got to have more than one store in the Chicago area. I mean, you can hit a few up
Yeah.
each day. You know what I mean?
Hey,
When
you got any
did those
cards, man?
release?
You got any
Is it
cards?
January?
I think they said spring of next year. They didn't say
Okay.
exactly when, but I think it's
Okay.
definitely gonna be cool for sure.
I'm heading to
like
my
you
local card store today, and I was going to ask them. I'm also heading to the Chantilly card show this afternoon in the DC area. So pretty big card show.
I
Gonna be
was
checking
there
that out.
yesterday, so if
Oh,
you want
really?
to discuss that.
Awesome. Please bring it up. What were your thoughts? How was it?
Okay, so it's it was different. I went to the afternoon to the first session. So the way they're working it is that they're breaking it up each day up into 2 sessions, a morning
Okay.
session and an evening session. and it's 4 hours and it's timed. So I got there at noon. I left just before 4, and then it was going to be closed for 30 minutes so they can do as much disinfecting as they could, cleaning up. And then the second session starts 4:30 to 8:30.
Can anybody
There were
walk
no
in at any
autograph
time?
guests there. Well,
Can you
got a
walk in at
question?
any time, or do you have to be in the? That's like the. Can I go
You
at
have
2
to
o'clock?
order
in the
your
morning?
tickets online beforehand.
Oh, wow.
And I actually have a ticket for this afternoon that I'm not going to use. So if you tell them that your name is at will call is Chris Harris,
Okay.
first person to get it, it's on me.
Thanks, Chris. If I do get it, I'll let you know.
Just
All
make
right.
sure you use your fake ID.
Everybody else, do not use that ticket.
So
I'm just impressed you use your real name. Like I would have been like Dirk Diggity or something.
Dirk Diggler, yeah.
You say your name was Brody or something?
Bend over.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
input.
well, at
I did
least had
not
a little
know that.
fun
I
with
had
it.
no idea. I was just going to drive by and join the show, so I did not know that at all. And I didn't
Yeah,
want to
so
buy a
you
ticket
have to
before
order your
because
tickets online, and because there's a limit on the number of people that can be in
Yeah.
the Dulles
Wow.
Expo Center. So that's how they're kind of limiting.
So the only problem now, Ziggy, like you could get a free ticket, except now there's 10 Chris Harrises trying to get in.
Yeah.
I'll see. I'm going to drive. I'll drive
Everyone
by.
is Chris Harris.
I might be taking pictures from the parking lot because, like I said, I didn't want to buy a ticket online. I saw that, but my thoughts were I want to go and see if there's anybody there. Like if I walked in, there's nobody there. I don't want to be there, right? I wouldn't have bought the ticket, but I'll check it out. I'll let you guys know.
Actually, for a Friday afternoon, it was a pretty decent crowd. I'd say
Yeah.
I normally go to Chantilly on Fridays because I usually have that Friday off. And I'd say it was about 50% of normal as far as crowd size. They did not have any autograph guests. So
Yeah, no, yep.
part
And no
of they actually
authentication.
sectioned off part of the expo hall for like a jewelry show, which would be
Okay.
where like the back area where
Yep.
everybody signs their hundreds of mail order items is. There were about 2/3 the tables there. So it was still a pretty big show, but everything was spaced out.
Yeah.
So the aisles were like twice as wide. But other than that, a lot of the usual dealers that set up there.
Blowout? Was Blowout there?
Blowout.
I didn't see them on the list.
They were there.
Yeah, they're normally there because they're right in Chantilly, but they were not on the list.
Yeah.
I saw
know
Steel
Steel
City's on the
City
list.
was there.
Yep.
A lot of the usual dealers that I go to, there's one guy that sets up next to Steel City. He's an old guy from the Carolinas. I just call him Dollar Box of Doom guy. Seriously. I don't know how he gets his stuff. I don't care if it's hot or questionably. He's got good stuff. So I spent like maybe half my time just picking through his $1 and $3 boxes.
Yeah, that's where you find stuff.
Yeah. But, all the usual dealers that were there. I saw Mel from Bel Air Sports Cards was there.
Yep, cool.
He's a regular. So I wound up spending about $150 on singles.
All right.
Cool.
So,
Cool. Well, that's the thing. I want to get
cool.
out, check it out, meet some people, but we'll see if I can get in or not.
It's like one of the better regional card shows.
Yes.
It runs about 3 times a year.
Yeah.
It's one of those card shows where if you're not from the Mid-Atlantic area, it's kind of worth. If you got like a free weekend, it's worth the drive.
Yep.
So
in the past years, it's been big. I mean, the past years it was a very big event. So that's why I thought it'd be fun.
Usually the spring show in March is a big show because they bring in a lot of Hall of Fame football players, and that attracts a big crowd.
Season. Yep.
Yeah, because there's I've been living in Northern Virginia I moved here in like 2009, and I was kind of surprised at just how many Steelers fans and Cowboys fans there are. And they bring a lot of they bring in a lot of the old Redskins and the old Baltimore Colts, but they bring in a lot of the Steelers and a lot of the Cowboys as well. And they bring a crowd.
Shout out to Marlon right there.
There you go. Shout out. Yeah,
Hey,
I'll give a cheap plug for for the next show upcoming in the Dallas Cards. I mean, I can't. Rich is going to be sitting in his. He said he was going to be setting up his booth. The last show I was at, I probably spent a good, I don't know, hour digging through his boxes. I plan on spending half a day digging through Rich's boxes just because, oh my gosh, it was nothing but just, first off, it was fun just to actually get to interact with Rich live. And then he probably had like 20, 30 boxes standing there. And I only got through 2. And I want through all of them now. I want to dig through all of it. I want to dig through all of it, just like you, Chris.
So,
Yeah,
and Brody,
I think-
we're gonna let Brody want to come on and shameless plug his show tonight. So I'm gonna let him do that, and then we can
Plug away,
probably
Brody.
got some
Plug away.
things
Plug,
he
plug.
wants to do. Go ahead, Brody.
Well, John Newman is joining me for episode 21 of Hobby
Oh,
Life.
geez.
That's
So-
not a. That's a.
Are you-
That's
is,
called
it,
a, that's
Oh,
a
now
real
we know
that's a
why.
real shameless plug.
is it YouTube or is it podcast, Brody?
Yeah, it's on YouTube, Hobby Life
Awesome.
Show. It'll be
Yep.
live at 6 p.m. Central Time if you guys want to tune in. We're gonna give away a bunch of stuff. We've already got 2018 score and a 2020 Donruss Hanger box to give away.
Oh, there you
So
go.
yeah, so it's gonna be a lot of fun, and me and John are gonna have a great conversation for
Can
sure.
you promise
Well,
me something, Brody?
you are. I don't know about me, but I'll do my best.
You promise
Looking
me
forward to it.
something,
6
Brody?
o'clock.
Give,
I'll definitely be there, man.
yeah, give
All right,
him
thank you.
really, really hard questions. Don't toss him softballs. Don't let him off the hook, man.
There
Give
are
him really
listen.
hard questions, man.
They're all
Don't-
hard questions to me, Brad. So
Brad,
don't
I was going
take
to
it
ask.
easy on him.
You're still doing the podcast, right? But it's podcast only. Is that correct?
I'm sorry.
Brad, yours is still podcast only. Is that correct? Your show?
Yeah, for now, I've got a bunch
Okay.
of stuff that I'm planning for 2021. But yes, right now it's just podcasting.
Excellent. It's funny. I'm not as big of a podcast person as I am YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is I work from home. I'm not in the car as much as I used to, where I could do podcasts. Working from home a lot, I just have YouTube on, and I have work going on. So I love the YouTube, but I've definitely been following a lot of the podcasts. I've listened to John's podcast. I'll definitely check out yours, Brad.
Thank
So
you.
please let me know. And again, I share this stuff on my daily show. I do let people know about other shows going on. Try to promote that. So if you have stuff coming on, you're scheduling it, let me know, and I'll be happy to promote that the day before for
Yeah,
anybody.
and honestly, I watch YouTube during my lunch. So I watch Brody, I watch your show all the time. I watch YouTube all the time instead of editing my I watch YouTube. That's what I love to do, is watching shows during, and I find that the content that we create is completely fascinating and amazing, and at the same time, the sharing that we do and the reaching out that we do and the knowledge that we do. Okay, here's my little tear. Is just incredible, because I think we all are just trying to teach, and at the same time, part of the hobby. I think it's awesome, man. And I really appreciate watching Brody's stuff. I mean, it's pretty cool to see Brody go, "What's up?"
Well, it's interesting, Brad. I was talking to another content provider, baseball card collector, investor, dealer, has a great channel if you haven't followed it. And he was talking about 2020. And one of the highlights we're chatting about, the one thing I'll take away from 2020, I've made more friends in the hobby than I have in any prior year because of COVID.
Yes.
And I think part of that is it's virtual, right? We would go to shows, we'd meet people and kind of say hi. But now I have probably added easily 20 to 50 solid people I know in the hobby. And I think that's the highlight for me for 2020. It's going to be the friends and the relationships more than the cards and the stories.
Great point. A great
Yeah,
point.
yeah.
And it came out of necessity.
Yeah.
It came out of necessity where we couldn't get together, and you don't just give up. You adapt, and Zoom and Microsoft Teams, StreamYard, YouTube. One of the reasons I don't do a lot of YouTube is self-explanatory.
Oh,
So,
whatever.
I have
John.
a
I
face
can't wait
for.
the next
I have a
Hobby
face
I don't
for
either.
not you.
episode.
I
Shut
have a
up.
face for not YouTube, as I like to say.
I do my YouTube without my face though.
Well, maybe that's what I do a lot of that myself. Actually, the YouTube I do is usually I'm not on camera very long, so
I'm going to hire a model in 2022. That's my plan.
like Milli Vanilli, like it's your voice,
Milli
but it's someone
Vanilli.
else on the screen.
You might have to
It's the
explain
Milli
that to
Vanilli
Brody.
of sports
Milli
card
Vanilli.
content.
Milli Vanilli
Till
was
you get
a
exposed, and then your career's over.
not just for Brody,
Yeah.
but everybody else, for the young people. Milli Vanilli was a group, I think, in the 90s or 80s, and they
90s,
honestly
yeah.
lip synced everything. Like they didn't sing any of their songs. All their songs were recorded by somebody else, and they get out and they dance and jump around, and they never sung. It was just
And they got
Milli Vanilli.
busted, Brody, because the track skipped.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. And they
stopped
actually
playing
won a
while they were-
Grammy
And-
for Best
Yeah.
New Artist.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Tells
did.
you a
And let
lot
me-
about
Let me
that.
clarify. Okay, there are times when other artists will do this. They'll use they don't use their own voice because they're weak. But Milli Vanilli did it all the time. Like you never
Yeah.
ever heard their real voice. That was the biggest scam.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
even know who the real
crazy.
singers were.
Well,
But
there
yeah,
were
I'm
a
a Milli
bunch of
Vanilli.
Americans who were like in the army and stationed in Germany, and they formed a band. And then this producer found them,
Yep.
and then they realized that they didn't want a bunch of Americans singing for a German audience, so they hired two German guys to.
To do it.
Yeah.
Well, think about if they had social media back then. Imagine all the memes and all the videos. I mean, that would be the biggest joke around. But you're right. Most people don't know Milli Vanilli.
Yeah, Rob and
Yeah.
Fab were their names, Rich.
Yeah,
Rob and Fab.
Rob Pilatus.
Reese.
I don't. Yeah. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden, this became the Milli Vanilli show. But that's all right.
Baby, baby.
You know, I have
Well, I
Don't
want to ask Brody a
forget
question.
my-
I can
No.
share. I will share
I-
one more piece of information I
Yeah,
got
go
this
ahead.
week. So I was listening to Jeremy's show, Sports Cards Live, another great show, and
Mhm.
one of our co-hosts. Wednesday night, he had Jeff from Sports Card Investor, and Jeff announced he's going to be doing another virtual sports card conference in December. I don't think the dates are set. I think it's like the 8th to the 10th, but it will be a free event. It'll be another way for people to collaborate. So I'm looking forward to that. I know in the past, Sports Card Investor had eBay as their main sponsor. eBay is going to be, I think, sponsoring this one, and they gave away, I think, $20,000 worth of cards. This, so it's a free
Oh,
event.
wow.
I do encourage people to check it out. They broke 2 boxes, or they broke 1 box of NT Live, and gave cards out to people. So, you know, it's going to be tons of people, but it is a good event. If you're in the hobby, I do recommend checking it out.
Brody, the question that I have for you is, and a lot of people ask, this stems from the conversation. I don't remember if it was last Saturday or the Saturday before, where they were talking about Brody's generation collecting and collecting those cards now, and collect how we collect. Okay, we collect Mattingly, we collect Ryan Sandberg, all the guys from the 80s that we grew up watching. So from your standpoint, Brody, I know we got like 7-8 minutes left. Who does your generation collect? Because there's people out there that I feel that don't know that, and that they would be like, interesting. I wonder if it's somebody that I should be watching. So who are your favorite players, Brody, of this generation?
Well, I definitely start with Mike Trout.
Okay, yeah.
I don't see it.
He's an awful player.
Who?
But I mean, a lot of like Yankees and stuff like that, and I mean, I even say a lot of the rookies too. Like I really like Lou Bob just because he's a White Sox, and I love the White
Mhm.
Sox. But I like Bichette a lot too. I think he's going to be really good. And then football wise, I mean, a lot of my friends like the Bears, but then there's like half of the kids that like the Cowboys, which still just annoys me so much. I'm sorry, Brad.
It's like that. Get used to that the rest of your life.
Go CeeDee Lamb.
He's pretty good. I'll give you that. CeeDee Lamb's playing well.
But like
For sure.
I'm thinking like of an Acuna or Juan Soto or something, somebody not just like today's rookies, but who would you follow like within the past 5 years that something like that?
Well, I'd definitely say Acuna, Soto too. I think
Yeah.
probably Bellinger, Bats maybe, Judge, Torres. I think is a lot of what people like.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of guys. I could probably go on for a while.
It's funny. I think back to, for me as a kid, right? 1986 Mets. I love the Mets team. I mean, I remember every player on there. So those are memorable cards for me. Also, Don Mattingly, because again, and here's my point to this. At the time, I didn't know I'd like them. It really wasn't until 20 years later when I look back to the memories of I remember pulling a Don Mattingly card, or I remember the '86 Mets. So another thing I'll mention to everybody out there, whether you're, if you have young kids and even to Brody, if you're in the hobby today and then 2 years from now you're not, that's not a bad thing. To me, it's kind of a seed, because 20 years from now, because you had an experience in the hobby, you're going to open that seed again and probably get back into it. And that's, I think, is amazing about the hobby. You don't have to stay in it. There's a lot of young kids Brody's age who will probably go away. I have 4 sons. Only 2 are active in it. The other 2 just are kind of bored of it. And that will change, right? But I think what's great here is these seeds are being planted. So 20 years from now, kids like Brody are going to reconnect with the hobby, reestablish like 2020.
Yeah.
And you saw the
Nostalgia's a
comment
hell of
I
a
put up
drug.
from Side Guy. He makes a good point here. Is a lot of these kids know the big market teams.
Yeah.
The big city. It's too bad. Even the talking. We Fernando Tatis Jr. No one mentioned him. San Diego, right? Probably had probably going to win National League MVP.
Yep.
In his second year. So. And that's why these small market, we can get into, we're not going to go there, but these small market teams, that's why they have trouble drawing free agents and why guys tend to leave. I hope Tatis doesn't follow that sort of suit and move to the Yankees, as traditionally what we see, or a big market, Yankees, Dodgers, that sort of thing. And just because of endorsement deals. And, but I got a question for Brody, but, when will you not be Brody the Kid? Have you thought about that yet?
That's a great
Always.
question.
Don't ever grow up, man.
When I'm 18, I just turned to BTA, Brody the adult.
At some age, you go back. You go back, because I'm now Ziggy the Kid again. I went to the adult thing, got over it.
Not that I'm trying to rush you. I like to think, I probably shouldn't at my age think that far ahead, but that's how my mind works sometimes.
BTK. There you go.
Be careful.
Yeah.
I got to cut out for 1 second. I'll be right back.
No problem, Chris. No problem.
But yeah,
All
BTK,
right.
Brody. We're already doing your marketing for you as an adult. We're not even.
I love the poster in the background too, by the way.
Oh yeah, I've had this for a while. It's pretty cool. It was like
Yeah.
This is like a picture from, I think, like the 2018 Christmas when I woke up and I just had cards everywhere.
Oh, that's awesome.
That
That's
is
like-
awesome.
Who did that? Like, who designed it?
Well, the producer helped with that for sure.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
we've had that, I think, for like probably about a year and a half
know.
now.
I like it.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool.
And how long have you had
So-
the YouTube channel going, Brody?
I've had that for, I think it started, the Hobby Life started, I think, November. I don't,
Okay.
somewhere around. Well, I remember in the November Chicago show is when we were kind of promoting it, so it might have started December or January, somewhere around there. But we
But
also
you were
do
doing
have
you were
the
doing your
stickers.
Okay.
you
okay.
were doing
Those are
your
cool.
stuff before.
Very
before
cool.
Hobby Life, you were doing your own video stuff.
Yeah, I have my own YouTube that I do stuff on there.
Yeah.
It's hard because like it's hard for me to get stuff a lot of times too, and I mean it's hard for me to consistently post really. I mean I've got some videos up there, but I'm gonna try to start to consistently post. I just don't know. It'll be
Yeah.
tough though.
Do
I
you
can only
follow
imagine.
any other young
Cool.
collectors? Like I know there's
Yeah.
another guy, the card collector. I see him out in a lot of stuff. My son tried it for a few weeks and he got bored and lost attention in it. So I understand how challenging it is. So I love seeing those
That's
channels and I
awesome.
really want to promote them. So
I'm all
I
for
look
that
forward to it.
rich line right there. I'm all for that post. I don't know if Brody knows who Gail Godot is. Do you know who Gail Godot is?
No, I do not.
Wonder
Google.
Woman.
Google.
Oh. Okay.
But you didn't. I didn't tell you that if anyone asked, but Google it. So, but all right, Brody. Well, thanks, man. We'll watch the show tonight, even though you got a
6
crappy
o'clock.
guest this week.
Yeah, 6 o'clock
I'm
Central
still
Time.
gonna watch.
All right, I'll see you all
No
later.
softball.
Fun
All right,
show,
Thanks,
guys.
Brody.
See y'all later.
Later.
All right, so can we go a little bit longer because there's kind of one more topic I kind of
Sure,
want
sure,
to
yeah.
reach.
Overtime.
Over
All
time.
right. The room is still pretty full. So the new grading company, CSG, has taken 2 of Beckett's top men, hired him away. Is this a or as they would say in dodgeball, bold strategy, Cotton? Will it pay? Will it pay off? Like, is this obviously it's worth doing? Obviously, you get two people with vast experience who can bring their knowledge and behind the scenes stuff to it. CSG, I forgot what their parent company's called. CSG is what their baseball rating's going to be called.
I think it's NGC.
Yeah, they're not new to grading. They've come from the non-sports and comics sector. Now they're going into
mostly coins
and coins. Okay, I mean, what do we think of this? Is this is this a good move, bad move, neither?
So here's my first thoughts on this were, again, I don't know much about grading. I'd like to learn some. It makes me think to myself that those people who are actual graders are very limited, because if these two names are leaving and they're going, that means there's probably not a stall of 100 people at Beckett, which means, in my opinion, Beckett's going to take a hit for that, right? You can't assume they're going to pick that up. But it also, I think, emphasizes where I think everybody needs to pay attention to this. You can't expect people just go out and hire graders, right? These people take years to invest the time in. And somebody said it best, where are the grading companies willing to invest those years into something that right now has just been a blip on the hobby for the last year? So I think it's interesting to answer your question. I'm excited CSG's doing that. It's great. I think it's going to negatively impact Beckett.
I'm going to bring Jeremy Lee in. He's waiting in the waiting room.
Excellent.
I'm assuming he's got something to add here. I know he's into grading like me as well. Jeremy, welcome to the team as well, in case anyone didn't hear.
Hey, Jeremy. Good morning.
Thanks, John. Hi, guys. Hi. Actually, I don't want to change the topic, John, but I wanted to call in because we're talking about shows. Sorry to not talk about the grading thing, but James in the chat was mentioning that there's going to be the virtual expo in November that the Toronto show is putting on. But I just want to mention that it's actually, so the guy from Toronto is partnering up with the guy who owns the Chicago Spectacular, which used to be known as the Sun Times show. And those two guys have partnered up to do the virtual expo November 20 and 21 and 22, I believe it is, the Saturday, Sunday. And shameless plug, they're both on my show this evening, and we're going to talk about it.
Everybody's getting a shameless plug today.
No, these are good plugs. This is good plugs for people. They should be paying attention to this.
This is an important one because we're going to be talking about what can be expected during their show. And hey, we're all hobbyists. We all want shows. So I just want to mention that if you want to learn about what that show is going to look like, tune in tonight to Sports Cards Live. I have the two guys, Steve Menzie of the Toronto Expo, Mitch Adelstein, who owns the Spectacular, formerly with Fanatics. They're both going to be on tonight talking about what to expect. That's it, guys. Great show so far. I've been enjoying it. Happy to talk about grading a little bit too, though.
I just want to comment. I watched your show, Jeremy, before. I think it's in June when you gave the prep, and it's important to watch that because it's like I just found out today about the Chantilly show. You had to buy a ticket in advance. For the expo, they give you tips like what to prepare, how to prepare. I love what your example where you have the Dropbox with all the pictures of your cards. There's just great tips you can learn if you want to be proficient and get the best out of these expos. And I also say too, support these expos. Right? Everybody's hurting. A few dollars to attend a virtual show is really not a big deal. So I hope you guys can support it.
I have one question about these virtual expos.
Go ahead, Chris.
Are a lot of these presentations, are they going to be archived somewhere?
Oh,
maybe posted on YouTube or posted on like a gated site?
I know the virtual ones that I've seen, like Sports Card Investor and the Hobby Palooza, did archive theirs on YouTube. I don't know about the expos themselves.
Okay. Just wondering.
Yeah. So back to
I guess. Nice hat, Jeremy.
Hate to bring this show to a screeching halt with that.
So I'll put it much. I absolutely love CGS hiring. Yes, BGS lost talent, but what this says is that they're drop dead serious, that they're not playing, and that to me says, okay, I noticed. Give them a couple of months. It may take six to 8 months, but if you're hiring top talent, you're not hiring, and because I'm sure that it costs a pretty penny to move them away from BGS. That means they are drop dead serious, and you've got two experts that are there to train more experts and to grow that. kudos for those two gentlemen for taking the opportunity when it arose. And I'm very excited. I'll give it like, I don't know, 6 to 8 months. And then I'll probably submit 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or whatever cards, just because I know the confidence that those two gentlemen had and are moving over. So I kudos to them for planting that flag and drawing that line in the sand and saying, we're going to do this. And then conversely, kudos to PSA for actually building another building and going into their automation process and trying to satisfy the backlog. I mean, we give these grading companies stuff all the time, but if you think about it, they're doing what they can with what they have, and you're seeing now investment from these companies to pull into to say we're trying. We're really trying. Is it going to work? Is it going to be? I lost my train. I was reading the comment and I completely
sorry. That's my fault for putting them up there.
That's right, but my comment is it's a positive. I think it's all a positive and moving.
Yeah, my 2 cents real quick, and then I think on 2 things. I think you hit on the head, Brad. I think this CSG is not messing around. I mean, they're good. It's go big or go home type of deal. I also think on the other side of that, it's not good for Beckett. When we think about, and I know Jeremy's big into grading, I'm big into grading. They just had a one of the biggest. They've all sort of raised prices or changed wording on level. Beckett's was by percentage the worst increase. They even put out like a chart saying their 10-day submission is like 4 weeks or 6 weeks, and not good pub. And then this happens to them now. And I think when you see their 2 top graders, and again, this is just me playing, armchair grading expert, but when your 2 top graders jump ship, there's the old saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. That would make me wonder what's going on behind the scenes there. Do they know? Is that them kind of knowing maybe the ship is taking on a little water, or money talks? It may be as simple as, hey, we're getting a raise.
I think it was a pure money play and a pure money move.
Yeah.
I agree.
I think that they saw the open opportunity. They saw, because I've done this in my career in the past. I've headed up teams where somebody money whipped me to start a program. So
money whip.
Yeah, money
like
whip. Hardcore. I mean, money almost. Yeah, they money whipped me and said, "Come build a team." I think that's exactly what. I don't know. I don't have any insight. I don't have it, but it smells to me like they got money whipped to go build a team. And
well, they announced they were going to do sports cards like 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the hiring just came now. So I wonder, did they announce it and they knew they were hiring those guys, or they announce it and then go out and hire the talent? Right?
They knew.
Never know.
They knew. That's when you go into this process, at least in my past history and doing something like this, it's usually like a 8 to 10 month process, and wooing and dinners and all the love and all the negotiation back and forth and perks and stock options and all that other fun. So yeah, this was about an 8 month, maybe 9 month, or I don't know, maybe they said, here's $1 million, go start this thing. So you never know, but this thing was planned, and I love it. I absolutely.
When do they start taking submissions? I'm curious. Anybody's out there, I'd love to hear the first responses back. If anybody goes with them, and I'll probably try it. I mean, I have no problem.
They're not open for business. The sign's not flipped around saying open for submissions. I think I think that really comes down to, Ziggy, like when they can get their grading team in place to where they're ready to take those first ones. Dak Mack fan, great comment here. Is there going to be a great, stealing graders battle? Hey, we paid the graders the top salaries in the business. Come work for us? Are we going to see, guys bounce around, but PSA grader is going to say, hey, I'm going here. I'm going to get, $20,000 a year more now. How can I have a family? I got to, and how does that affect if there's like, I don't want to say a mass exodus, but if enough people leave, we already know they're backlogged with submissions. They don't need to lose graders. So how does that, can you win the battle, not even so much by doing more business, but by just taking their best graders from them? There's so many different cogs here.
Go ahead.
I wanted to make a comment about that comment from Dak T-Mac fan about what a fourth major player might mean, because about, 10 years ago, there was another startup grading company called GAI, and they made a big splash, and they hired a bunch of, I don't know if they hired a bunch of PSA guys or if a bunch of PSA guys broke off and started their own company. Didn't really last that long.
Yeah.
And has the hobby changed in that decade? Can it support 4 graders or not?
Yeah, I don't know. I just know that if you ever thought about getting into the hobby and being on that side of the business, man, now's a great time. Now is a great time. There's going to be when you get think about this, Chris.
Are we in on the ground floor or are we in on the attic?
I think we're on the. Honestly, I think
we're kind of near
on our way up. I think we're on our way up. I don't think we're at the peak yet.
Floors.
Yeah. And there's people that we can go into the bubble conversation, but let's not go there. I think that if you ever wanted to be a grader, because of the different types of opportunities that are out there, and everybody's starting to hire, now might be a great time to start thinking about it, because there's going to be a money war for talent. There's definitely a backlog. Yes, PSA has increased prices, but we certainly haven't seen a peak when somebody is still sending in common cards just to see if they can increase. And it's not. I was listening to Drew's podcast on the way to work, and think about the dichotomy of the breakers increasing the price and the price of a box of cards. Okay. So now if I buy a box of cards and I rip it open, I have to get the dollar value out of that. Okay. And think about a seller for a second. Think about it from a seller aspect. What is the best way to get a value for my dollar for a X player rookie card? Send it in for grading, because it increases the value.
If it gets a positive grade, though.
Yeah. Well, true. But that's
important.
That card in.
I agree with you, but I'll say I watched a video this week where a young man was talking about where he submitted a bunch of cards, and he even said he thinks it's not worth the time, right? He'd rather buy the singles than deal with the grading, because again, what people don't realize, they're all not coming back 10s,
right?
And a lot of them aren't coming back 9s either. And I think that that pain people need to go through. So everybody just thinks, you're right. They think I open a blaster, I can grade a card, I'll make $500. No. You that's not going to happen all the time. And I'll just remind people, before 2020, most people lost money in the hobby. This was a hobby where you made money to support your hobby. It wasn't a hobby where you made money to buy boats. Now people support the hobby and they're buying boats on the side. So things have changed and they'll change back, right? It's a cycle.
Yeah, there will be some sort of adjustment. I 100% agree with that. What the adjustment looks like, what it looks like 5 to 6 years from now, who knows? Who knows?
And Hamburger Ron, this is the biggest complaint I do hear about CSG. Obviously, they don't have any cards graded yet, but their previous grades and their other niches, people don't like their slabs. So people are saying, if the cards are going to be in their slabs that they already make, I'm not a fan of that. But you know what? People don't like PSA slabs. People don't like GC slabs. People complain Beckett's are too bulky and too thick. You're always going to have, naysayers for every slab. I think it's going
Which
to
SGC slabs though, because they've redesigned them like
yeah,
or
well,
three
they got the
different
new
times
ones
now.
now. With the black, they call them tuxedos. It's been termed, and not by them. I think by the hobby in general. But so I think it's gonna, the success is gonna be, number one, how many people submit their cards. Obviously, what cards sell for. Do these things have a resale level that breeds more people sending in more cards? And we're going to see. I think hiring the two Beckett top guys is I mean, it's worth a shot, right? I mean, if you're going to do it, it's like I said already, go big or go home. It's not, if it doesn't work for them, it's probably not due to lack of effort. It's just might be where it's hard to come in at this stage of the game and make an impact. But I think, you know what, if you're going to do it, now's the time when people are complaining about wait times and price increases and, slabs being damaged upon return and, all this sorts of stuff. And if it ain't going to happen now, like if they don't succeed, it's probably going to be many, many, many moons before we even see that another attempt at it.
One quick comment that I think PSA does really well, and I don't understand why the others aren't doing this, is their set registries.
Mhm.
Why does Beck not do that? Why does CSG not do that? To me, that actually helps because you have people, a lot of collectors who are building those sets who are going to go buy the PSA slabs or crack for PSA slabs because that's how they complete the sets. So I just don't understand, like, why is Beckett? Because to me, I look at this market, you got to differentiate yourself. Is it in the slab you differentiate? Is it in the customer service? Is it in the experience? What is it that you're going to use to differentiate? So I think the PSA registry set thing's very cool to me. That's why I do a lot of PSA collecting and do a lot of PSA grading.
Well, I will tell you this: SGC's registry is going to be online. I'm being told, very, very in the near future here. Whatever the near future is, that 2 weeks, is that 2 months, but it's been coined near future. So SGC will have their registry, and I agree with you, Ziggy. I think that's a huge game changer for a grading card company to have that. It just puts a little more even legitimacy on that. SGC, I don't want to say they are a sponsor of my show, but even regardless, they're one of the, I think they're the only one that will scan. You get the scans of your cards before you even get your cards back. And these are high quality scans. I use them. I use the scans rather than even take pictures of the cards when I get them back from SGC. And I use all three. I have SGC cards, Beckett graded, PSA. So I don't want to make it sound like, I never, I have cards from all three.
I didn't know about the SGC registry. That makes me interested because to me, I like the competitive nature of that. I also like doing that with my son. We can pick a set and try to create a graded set that he can have his life. So to me, that's cool. I will check out SGC more now just because that's that registry. The competition part, getting points, that's key, man. We all like to compete.
It's been worded to me, Ziggy, near future. So I don't, I don't work for them. I don't want to tell you that. And a year from now, we're still waiting for, potentially.
A year is still good. I like that. I just don't understand why Beckett's not doing it. They've been around forever. Why are they not doing it? So I applaud SGC for doing that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll make a quick couple comments if I can.
No,
I think you're not allowed.
What I think happened is I think that CSG went after these guys and said, hey, and threw money at them and said, hey, we're going to make this worth your while, which was a great business move by them. Let's get a couple guys who are experienced. The other thing I think CSG, Chris made the comment about GAI that came in and didn't last very long. And the difference here, I believe, is that, and I think we all recognize, is that CSG, they're already in the grading authenticating marketplace. They're not brand new. They have some reputation. They have credibility. They have brand. So they have market penetration already among collectibles. So to me, they're slam dunk to be successful, have lasting power, and win some market share versus a GAI, versus anybody else who just decides, hey, we're going to start a grading company. You got to be crazy to do that right now, unless you can go out and get a couple of experienced guys, or you have other ways to penetrate the market and gain market share. I really think that CSG slab appearance dependent, has a good shot at taking some serious market share. One other comment about grading is that for me as a collector, I'm kind of willing to pay a little bit more now for a graded card that is, I'm not saying I'll pay $1,150 over $1,100. I'm saying I'll pay $70 instead of $50 for a graded card now, because if I want to take that same card and get it graded, it's going to take way longer to get it. And prices have gone up to the point where it doesn't even pay to get it, to submit a card for grading that's worth less than $100. However, there might be cards I want graded that are worth less than $100 because I want them uniform with other cards in my collection, etc. So those are a couple.
Let somebody else take the grading hit.
Yeah. So we've talked about nothing but positive. Let's do an I disagree. Let's throw a negative out there. This is new. There's going to be hiccups, and there's going to be stalls, and there's going to be, nobody turns on the machine and it's going to be perfect. There's always like a 4 to 6 month time frame where they start to get cards and they're like, oh wait, this process is broken and we need to change this process over here, and we need to make sure that this is work, or what does this system not work? The software doesn't work right. So let's not think that this is all going to be Guns and Roses and smelling all nice and yes, there's a 1980s reference of GNR. Let's not think this is all going to go, all smooth and sailing. There's going to be hiccups. There's going to be problems. There's going to be, if PSA, BSG, and the other if the big three can't get it, running smoothly, what makes you think that a startup's going to be able to do it right off the bat? So,
well, I think what's going to happen, Brad, is they're going to start taking submissions. And the turnaround times in the early going, for the most part, I think is going to be quick. Yeah, just starting, and that's going to bring more. But hey, I got my, I got my cards 2 weeks, my graded cards, right?
Customer service will be great
else is going to jump on the bandwagon. It's what happened to SGC here the last few months, right? It's going to happen. Yep. It's going to happen. It's how you deal with that is where the question lies. Can you hire enough? And they've taken. It seems like they've taken the time since they announced they were getting into this business to now hiring these 2 top graders. They're taking their time. It makes me think, I don't know, that maybe they're really getting their foundation set, kind of anticipating that. Hey, we're going to get just being new, and we're going to get the initial cards back so quick, we're going to get a bunch of new cards submitted. And so we need to be ready for that. If they can kind of heed that off at the pass ahead of time, that, to me, that's what's going to determine whether there's going to be a big 3 or a big 4. That's the question. And then, do they pass anybody, right? If they do well, do they pass what some people consider the third in SGC? I almost put SGC at number 2, to tell you the truth now, in my rankings. It's like college football, right? We all have different rankings. But it's going to be, as someone who's in the graded cards, I know, Jeremy is too. It's going to be interesting to see how this kind of all plans out, how it all plays out.
Here's what I tell you to look for. Okay, so let's say they come out in the spring and start doing grading. Prism releases in March. If you get Prism cards, you send them off to those guys first, because they're going to get them back for you first, right? So if you want to grade a card fast, they'll probably be the fastest. Now, will their comps be the highest? Probably not. Just like SGC. SGC had fast turnarounds, but they had the lowest comps, and now they're building their comps up. So you're going to look for the same thing. Fast grading will be through SGC, CSG next year, right? But it's going to be lower comps until they build up that base, right? So
that was I was just about to make that comment of who's going to take that first leap and that first hit into eBay, and how do you then price that? Do you throw everything on auction? And let's talk about sellers for just a second. I know, Chris.
We're getting at an hour and a half, so make it quick, Brad. Not to rush you. Make it quick, because we're up at an hour and a half.
So when you throw that out there, do you throw it out there for an auction? Do you throw it for a fixed price? Do you think that out? You throw that out there. So then there's trying to feel out as a sales rep of what to set that price as. That's my only comment, and I'm done.
Yeah. And here's one more comment that from the room that I want to put. This is a great idea, and whoever does it ain't gonna be me. can make some serious cash. If someone makes a universal register, I don't know how you tackle that, but you could literally, like Terry Wickstrom says here, you could charge for that, where you have every card and the grades by each, but then Mint grading is going to say, hey, how come we're not listed our grades on that card? I guess you have to draw the line somewhere if you want to call it the big three, the big four. But if someone did a universal registry like that, if it was possible, there'd be plenty of people that would pay whatever, $10 a month, whatever price level that something like that might cost. I think there'd be a market for that for sure.
Let me just again remind you, it's all about the money, right? So are you going to sell a mixed set that's registered? I don't think so, because a collector is going to want all of the 86 Fleers in one slab. So I like the idea, but again, it's all, in my opinion, comes back to the money and how are you going to resell that?
Well, I think with that, Ziggy, I think a universal registry is not so much even for the sets. It's just to see how many 10s of this card exist. Is it like there's not many, I should be buying them up because there's room for a ceiling? Or, there's 500,000 graded 10s from various grading companies that this card is overpriced. Like,
here's why this won't work right there. You just brought it up. What if I have a combined set and it has a bunch of PSA 10s, but a bunch of Beckett 10s? Well, Beckett 10s are worth a lot more than PSA 10s because let's be honest, all 10s aren't the same.
They just have
to like women. All 10 women aren't the same.
They'd have to weight that differently too, just like PSA on their set registry. There's different weightings for different grade points. So in a universal set registry, you just give the BGS 10 more weighting. And I could see it actually catching on even from a set collector's perspective, because not everybody wants to be kind of forced to collect one slab. And, maybe you don't want to have to get a PSA 10 to fit in because it's too expensive, and you have an opportunity to buy a BGS 9 or 9.5 and it's a good price and you love the card. So, that would be a great way to finish off my set. Maybe I'll do that. If this universal registry was to be created, I think it's a good idea. I don't know that it'll catch on, but I think it has a chance to, and then it would open up I think that would help level the playing field if it was sort of adopted on a meaningful level, at a meaningful level. I love the idea.
Somebody hasn't thought of this by now.
I'm surprised Chris Harris hasn't started it.
Well, whoever mentioned it, you get credit for the idea, but please come back to Hobby Hotline to your advisor board. We want to have a
we're on the board of directors. Just the
we'll do
five
some
of
angel
us
investing
on the screen here.
Exactly.
I also have zero graded cards in my collection. So.
Well, I'm going to include everybody, even our fellow hosts who aren't here today. Hey guys, I have to drop off. I've got a hard stop at right now at the half-hour point.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate it.
We're at an hour and a half.
This is a good time.
The room's been full. Great comments, guys. Everyone out there, even if you didn't comment, you're just watching and listening. We appreciate you. This is your show. As you see, people call in anytime. We covered a lot of ground today. Went a little overtime to do it, but I think it was well worth it. So everyone, thank you. You guys here on the screen with me. Appreciate you being here. Everyone have a great rest of the weekend. Be safe, be well, and we'll see you. We'll see you here in a week. Catch Jeremy's show tonight. Brody the Kids with me on there for what that's worth. 6 p.m. Central Time there. And again, be safe, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks,
everybody. Appreciate it.